Marcy. All right, we're sticking with the Halloween theme right now because we want to make sure that your kids stay safe out there during the celebrations. We want it to be more treat than trick.
Yeah, so far we're looking like great weather, but joining us now in studio with some Halloween safety tips is Waterbury Police Lieutenant Ryan Bessette. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Always a good time of year, always a lot of fun, and even you, I said, you know, it's a good weather, good, and you said, well, people are going to have more fun, but we want to make sure our kids stay safe.
I agree, Scott, Kara. It's great. The weather looks awesome. I think it'll bring more people out, probably stay a little bit longer. And just again, just some reminders for families when you're out. You know, it's a great time. It's a lot of fun, but you want to walk in pairs. You want to be illuminated. It's going to be dark pretty early. Make sure people can see you, whether it's something like a glow stick or a flashlight with you. Walking in the roadways again, you know, try to walk on the further side of the roadway, use a sidewalk, and then those little ones in particular, we see this every year, it's very concerning. A lot of times they're so excited to dart across the street to the next house to get candy.
Yes.
Just keep them close. Drivers, you know, slow down. Put the cell phones down. There's no hurry. Look for a lot of kids in the roadway. Just use a little caution that night.
Absolutely.
I mean, so important, the illumination. The nice thing is, if it's really going to be 83 during the day, probably at nighttime, we won't need to cover up all the costumes. They can show their costumes, but I can't believe how, with it getting dark now, even just I'm seeing like middle schoolers and high schoolers walking around in dark clothing, and it's so hard to see people. So you really have to make sure that's like, make sure your kids are glowing in some respect, or light, or something, or maybe you're the parent carrying the flashlight with them.
You do. You know, look for well-lit areas to travel in as well, trying to go on a desolate street. To have a plan that night. You know, it's a good thing you mentioned the older kids as well. Obviously, the young ones, we walk in pairs, we keep close to us, but the older ones, you want to know where they're traveling, what streets they're going to be on. Is there a meetup location? You know, do they have a cell phone they can carry on them, just in case you need to get in touch?
And, you know, walking specifically, I know a lot of people come into the west end of Hartford to do some trick-or-treating from other parts of Hartford. Seek out neighborhoods with sidewalks. You know, if you're going to pick a neighborhood, you might as well pick one with a sidewalk where the kids can stay safe.
It's very true, Scott. I mean, the furthest you can be from traffic, the better. And if you're in an area with a sidewalk, it's well lit, you're off the roadway, much better option.
What about the candy? I know when I was a kid, our parents would not let us use it till we looked at everything, and they had metal detectors around. I mean, is it a real threat, and what do you recommend that we do with our kids' candy? Yeah,
it is always advised that you get home, just look over the candy. Obviously, anything tampered with, anything open, discard it. You don't know what may have been done to the candy. It could have just been accidental, but we don't know. We have seen the evolution here of the edible marijuana as well in our state, which poses some other challenges. Some of these edible candies are a replica of a lot of candy that our children may eat.
Right.
So look at the THC label. If you see a candy that's not recognizable, take a little caution and be aware of that as well.
Oh, that's a good idea. Right, because those things look like candy. I don't know why someone would throw them in a kid's box, but they might.
They could. They could end up there accidentally or somehow.
What about, you know, coming onto the house, check out my Halloween decorations? No.
No. The cliche, stranger danger, have that conversation before you go out.
Nobody in anybody else's house.
No house, don't go in cars, don't go with anyone that's not a trusted individual that you know, and have that reminder conversation with your kids.
I love the pair idea, though. You know, travel in pairs. I'll never forget, I went trick-or-treating. I was with my group. They all went home. I just said, I'm going to hit another couple of houses. That's when I got into trouble.
Yes.
I got knocked right off my heels, dressed as a cheerleader.
So, New Jersey, some other states are talking about saying that they want to ban trick-or-treating for anyone over the age of 14. They can be a mischief night. Do you see a lot of that, or what do you recommend for parents of teens?
So again, have a conversation with your teen if they're going out. What are their plans? Know their friends, know who they go out with. Have that conversation regarding, you know, their actions and accountability and things that they're doing. We haven't seen a lot of that, particularly in Waterbury. It's mostly a fun, enjoyable night for families. And you know, as always, our officers, you know, I'm sure most cities and towns, high visibility patrols, making sure everyone's safe and available if anything is needed.
And be alert.
Situational awareness. Be alert, be aware of your surroundings, know what's going on. Yeah. If you see something, say something.
Right.
Don't be looking at the cell phones. You said that earlier, but it bears repeating. So much distraction these days.
Whether you're walking or driving.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. All right, well, we can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you guys.
Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Same here.
A pleasure.
And coming up on your